I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Wright.
And this week we want to do a little battle of the games. We've done a few of these before. Halo 3 versus Crysis last year. The Quake Wars versus TF2,
yes.
Which was another one. But this we want to talk about two of the biggest titles on their respective platforms for 2008. On the console side, you have Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yes.
And on the PC side, we have StarCraft 2, the godfather of the RTS, long awaited. So, Rob, what do you think will be the bigger game, in your definition of what the bigger game will be?
Yeah, I should qualify that, because I did a 2008 games preview for Tom's Games, and I did put StarCraft 2 at number 1, and I put Grand Theft Auto at number 2. I mean, it was a tough call, because I definitely think that Grand Theft Auto 4 is going to be the bigger seller. I don't see how you could make the argument that it wouldn't. Being on the consoles and just seeing what previous Grand Theft Auto titles have done, you know, tens of millions of copies of these games. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I put StarCraft 2 at number 1 because I think that it's going to have a bigger impact for its platform and its respective genre and fan base than Grand Theft Auto 4 will. And I think basically when it comes down to it, if Grand Theft Auto was delayed another year, if the fourth game, wasn't coming out until 2009, I think people would be upset, but they'd get over it. Whereas if you delayed StarCraft 2 another year, I mean, people would be suicidal, I think. I mean, it's been 10 years since the original StarCraft, 1998. I mean, the game came out, and then right on the heels of that, Brood War, the expansion pack, came out in the same year, and it was StarCraft goodness all around, and I think it sold about 10 million copies combined currently. So I think that people have been waiting for so long for StarCraft 2 to come back, for Blizzard to revisit the mythology of StarCraft and to get back into the RTS and just do something new with it that I really think it's going to be the
and it's done well, and it definitely has a lot of anticipation building.
Huge.
But Rob, StarCraft has sold 10 million copies in 10 years.
Yeah.
The last of 8 versions of Grand Theft Auto sold 20 million and sold 8.5 million in the U.S. alone.
Yeah.
I mean, just the scale of that alone. Everybody knows Grand Theft Auto. This is the first title on the new platforms. And it dealt with a lot of its weaknesses. The biggest weakness, everybody says, and I'll be the first to admit it, the graphics kind of suck.
Yeah.
And now it's on a next-gen platform, and they're not Crysis or anything, but they definitely, at least from what we've seen, look a lot better now. We haven't seen that much of it, but if they remove the weaknesses and you have this huge name, you have Liberty City, New York City, basically. I mean, I just can't imagine that just blowing everything out of the water.
It definitely, it looks promising. I'm not saying that Grand Theft Auto isn't going to be a hit. I mean, but I will say one thing. A couple of things have me worried. First, that new graphics engine that it has, it makes the game look great. But we really, like you said, we haven't seen much of it. Prior to the game being delayed in August from its initial October release last year, we hadn't really seen anything other than a trailer for this game. So I wasn't all that surprised when it was delayed. And Rockstar Take-Two basically said that there are technical issues that forced them to delay it, and there was rumored to have to do with the PlayStation 3 platform. So if some of those issues aren't resolved and make it into the game, it's definitely, I think, going to hurt the sales. And the other thing is that we get a new Grand Theft Auto title every 2 or 3 years. Vice City, what was that, 2003?
2000. Yeah, San Andreas was 2005.
San Andreas, 2005. So you're getting a new title, and there's so many GTA clones out there. You get Saints Row, Scarface. You have all these games coming out taking basically the sandbox style of gameplay, and they do it well. So I'm just saying, it's going to be tough for Grand Theft Auto 4 basically to recapture the magic that so many other game developers are now duplicating. And I'm just not sure if there's going to be enough new for Grand Theft Auto 4 to make it the game for 2008. Whereas I think StarCraft 2, I mean, some of the things that Blizzard is kind of teasing us with, this new style of single-player campaign. I know everybody plays it for multiplayer, but I love the single-player campaign. I want to see what happens with Sarah Kerrigan and some of these memorable characters. I'm really intrigued for that. And I think they got a few tricks up their sleeve in terms of gameplay. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, that may be try. I am a little bit concerned not having seen that much of actual gameplay of Grand Theft Auto 4, but in StarCraft Defense, I gotta say that the fan base in South Korea is incredible. Is incredible, and they've been done that with a 10-year-old game.
Oh yeah.
So I would think that it would just revamp with a new game, and they'd have so much more. I mean, these guys are like rock stars. It's crazy.
Professional gamers in South Korea. It's for StarCraft. It's a national sport. I mean, it's a spectator sport. You have women crying. It's just, I mean, it's outrageous. And I can't wait to see what might happen if, with professional gaming's growth here in North America and the States. If StarCraft 2 makes it into the competitive circuit, I think that could just have a huge impact. I mean, it's going to have a huge impact on the RTS genre, but to see it, played competitively the way it's played in South Korea, that just could be fantastic. So
either way, I think, only time will tell, but
they're both going to be huge hits.
Both going to be huge hits. Yeah. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Ben Meyer.
And I'm Rob Wright.
And we'll see you next time.
지지대